Holy F. What did Powell say today? Because stocks seem pretty happy. Is the job done? Is it really over? Is Santa Claus going to come to town? It appears so. And that's because the Fed actually announced QE today. They named it something different, but the market got the clue. That's why we went higher. If we look here to the 1-day chart, we even have a record daily close. This is the strongest close we have ever had. If we look here to a line chart, our strongest close before, 687.39. We did it. We hit 0.57 on a close. Nice. So what'll be very curious from here is, where do we actually close this weekly chart out? As you remember, we were looking for a move lower into the first half of the week. Well, that's exactly what we got. And if you're wondering what Jerome Powell said, this is exactly what he said. There's a statement they provide. It's right here. Do you really care about reading all these words? I don't think you do. So I showed you what they said. Jerome Powell came out and he talked about QE, or quantitative easing. Here is the summary of economic projections. There's a lot of pages. I'll show you the one that matters. It's the first one. And we talked about this on the weekend, so I encourage you to go back and read that if you want to. Here's what I noticed. GDP is going to be stronger next year. PCE is going to go up a little bit. And the Fed funds, well, nothing really changed. So nothing is changing here. The way that I read it is cut and pause. So a cut and pause, yes. If voting in favor of the decision was 9-3, with Mirren preferring a half-point cut. Well, that's exactly what Trump wanted. 4 officials see at least 3 quarter-point cuts for 2026, and 7 officials penciled in no cuts for next year. So there is a little bit of debate over at the Fed, and that's a good thing. If we look here as well, the Fed just cut rates again. Here's where we're headed for 2026. I just mentioned that. I want to turn this job over to whoever I replace with the economy in good shape. Hey, like the sounds of that. President Trump says should have at least doubled today. Too late, Powell. Jeffrey Gundlach gives us some headlines as well, telling us that I don't feel like that was a hawkish cut. So stonks go up. Stonks are about to go up. If we pop back here to our weekend notes, here's what we talked about. We talked about how we are extended with another record close. Key support is 678.74. Well, we never lost that. The low of the week, looking to the L, 681.31. Hey, not bad. On Wednesday, we had high volatility with the FOMC coming in, as we noted before. Well, we got through that. Now, tomorrow, we got jobless claims and then a 30-year auction. That's pretty much it. But the market's actually in the driver's seat again now. So the bulls defend the weekly chart. We're on track for a record weekly close. And as of right now, if we look here to the daily chart, we have a bullish engulfing daily candle. So nice job, bulls. What are you going to do tomorrow? Are we going to go to new highs? Because we're not that far off now. 688.97, and the intraday record high is 689.7. So we need less than 1 point to get there. Can we do it? Is Santa Claus going to come to town? And then remember, as of right now, we're battling for the weekly higher low versus the monthly higher high. If we go back here to our note, let's have a look here for 1 second. Oops, what's happening here? We want to go to Trello. Second link in the description if you want to follow along. So if we go back to here, the daily lower high versus the weekly higher low. Well, we got a bullish engulfing daily candle, which means we closed above that previous candle high. Suck it, bears. Now we are cautiously bullish. Let's go here to a green dot. There we go. Save. And now we save this for tomorrow. And then the weekly chart, we note that we had the weekly higher low versus the monthly higher high. All right. Did we make progress on that? Yes, we did. Last month's high, looking to the H, 685.8. We're at 687. So yeah, we're over that right now. So we're tracking 2 out of 4 bull. Sorry for bouncing around so much. We're sitting here at 2 out of 4 bull right now because we are currently over that candle high, higher high, and currently over the high. Nice job, bulls. So we're at 2 out of 4. Let's go. Daily chart's getting fixed. It's halfway there. We note the weekly higher low is defending. And what we talked about on the weekend is that is a really important clue for us, because as we ratchet the support higher and higher and higher, what it basically means is that we're going to get very clear evidence if we're going to break these charts now. So back to back to back hollow candles closing above for 2 weeks in a row. Well, that's bullish. I'm going to ask you for a huge favor. Could you please consider smashing that thumbs up or subscribing to the channel? Thank you very much at a time. So looking at here, as of right now, we are in a weekly higher high, but not currently above. So it is a failed break, but I think the bulls made pretty good progress. The important part here is going to be that into next week, we move the lines a little bit higher from 678 to 681. Nice. So if we fall below support this week, that's bad. If we fall below support next week, that's worse, because now we know that we're likely going to be closing with a monthly fail breakout. All right, here are the notes going into this week. So we can note that if we look to our support and resistance, we hit 688.9, I believe was the high. So not quite a new all-time high, but hey, the bulls did pretty good today. Looking to the heat map, there's a couple of stonks which are not doing so hot. So Netflix is down on the Warner Bros. Acquisition. Palantir's back up because why not? And then Microsoft. It looks like people are selling first and asking questions later. Looking back to the last week, it's flat. But Oracle and After Hours, well, apparently that AI stuff did not sell so good. So yeah, the stock is down by $63 billion, roughly $65 billion, because it's worth $635. So it appears like people are selling first and asking questions later. The OpenAI question is really in question right now. If we pop here to Microsoft really quickly, here's what's different. The last time we had a major gap up, and we talked about this, major gap up, we sold off to the 50, went a little bit below, but then recovered. It still formed a lower high though. That's exactly what the S&P is doing right now. Lower highs, not technically a new all-time high. Down, dead cat bounce, reject on the 50, down to the 200, and then reject on the key relative lows. This is the best way to see what people think about OpenAI. And right now, it's not so hot for Oracle. So, SFDBY. Let's look at SoftBank. SoftBank's actually holding up a lot better because the bounce here is actually holding a little bit more meaningfully. If we look here to the key charts, again, S&P record close. The ones we noted on the weekend. Let me have a quick look at those right now because, let me give you a quick update on the dog trade too. So let's go to here and I'll show you exactly what's going to happen because there's no point in trying to hide anything. So let's go here to DOG or the dogs. We go here to our stop. Let's zoom in a little bit closer. So our stop was at 23.56. The range on the day, we went down to 23.6. That was the low of the day. So if we go here to DOG on the one-day chart, we can note that the low of the day is 23.6. So we got really close to getting stopped out, but we did not quite get there. We're in half a position because we did not get our ad. And if we look to our levels chart, this is what it looks like right now. So, hey, we got pretty close to stomping out, but we got 4 more cents. Are the bulls going to step up, or are we going to see the bears come forward? All right, I think that's it for today's video. So come hang out with me at 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, or you can click on the second link in the description if you want to come trade with me. Thank you very much. I'll see you tomorrow.